Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with learning a song of Building a Team. So, last time, we did our No Way Home inspired builds. I got to play one game with each of them. They lost both times. Surprised. In some ways, the Sinister Six team did better than the X-Men team. In other ways, the X-Men team did better. So, yeah, it was just purpose of things. It was just things happening. Not every die, a lot of the die rolls. Nope. So yeah, but still had fun. Which is the important thing. Also did opt to buy myself a loose booster rise, a couple loose boosters of rise and fall, and pulled this sucker, whom I had yet to get my hands on. It's Corvus Rookshear. Who comes in at 50 points, has the no team ability, right? Right, okay. He has the Phoenix Force, Shi'ar, Starjammers, X-Men, Cosmic, and Warrior keywords. Looking at his dial, we have some charge and flurry. On attack, we open up with special power Blade of the Phoenix, which grants Blade's Claw's Fangs. When he uses it, apply the following effect based on the D6 result. On a 1 through 3, the attack deals penetrating damage. On a 4 through 6, once per turn after resolutions, Corvus Rookshear may make a close attack. Okay, alright. Then we get some regular Blade's Claw's Fangs. On defense, we open up with combat reflexes followed by super senses. Then we get some mid to late dial probability control on damage. So yeah, I was honestly really hoping to get him. He was one of the ones I was actually kind of irked about not getting out of my cases, but I mean, hey, I still did well with those, so all's well, right? Anyway, on to this build. So there's an upcoming Marvel crossover coming up. There's an upcoming Marvel crossover called Devil's Reign, which spins out of Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run. Its basic idea is that Kingpin has been... Wilson Fisk has become the mayor of New York City, and he's been very adamant. He's very firmly anti-vigilante. Gee, I wonder why. I'm sure it has nothing to do with him being, the biggest friggin' crime boss in New York. Nothing to do with that, I'm sure. But current, as I recall, the only superhero allowed to operate in the city that he allows to operate in the city is Spiderman. It's really just kind of and it's to do more damage to him because he's allowed to, but no one else is, and it's to basically, it's like kind of as a form of isolation to him. But anyway, so the build is 500 points. Street level characters, including with a handful of keywords. Every character on a team must have one or more of the following keywords: either Marvel Knights, Heroes for Hire, Spider-Man Family, Magia, Thunderbolts, Sinister Syndicate, Batman Family, Arkham Asylum, and Gotham City Underworld. Now, those last three are mainly as a way of giving a bit more breadth to things. So if somebody wanted to use some DC stuff, they could. So, and yes, I am. Anyway, so first off, we got a Heroes for Hire team. Now, initially, this is largely inspired by Devil's Reign, I wanted to do a team with street level Marvel heroes, and including the uncommon Elektra from the Deadpool set. She's damn good. But sad. So the plan was, Marvel Knights team using her, use Daredevil from Avengers Defenders War, or so on and so forth. Except for one problem. she doesn't have the Marvel Knights keyword. So I had to build something different, which is why we have a Heroes for Hire team, which starts off with Misty Knight. Misty here comes in at 40 points, has the PD and Spiderman ally team abilities, making her a wild card as well as having a team ability. She has the Defenders, Heroes for Hire, Marvel Knights, Detective, Martial Arts, and Police keywords. Looking at her dial, we open up a special speed power Late Night Fieldwork, which creates stealth and sidestep. This then gives way to a couple clicks of plasticity. On attack, all we have is some late dial incapacitate. Then on defense, we've got toughness followed by combat reflexes. Damage, we have a few clicks of close combat expert followed by a couple clicks of empower. Not too shabby. Next up, we've got Luke Cage. Cage here comes in at 60 points, has the Spider-Man ally team ability, as well as the Avengers, Defenders, Heroes for Hire, and Marvel Knights keywords. Looking at his dial, we open up with a click of Charge on speed, followed by a couple clicks of sidestep and a couple clicks of plasticity. On attack, we open up with a few clicks of super strength, followed by a couple clicks of quake. On defense, we open up with special power, Get Behind Me, Danny, which grants invulnerability and willpower. When an opposing character within line of fire makes a range attack, adjacent friendly characters can use toughness. Okay. This thing gives way to toughness. On damage, we open up with leadership for a few clicks, then we get a couple clicks at the end of close combat expert. Okay, alright. Sadly, no charge with that close combat expert, but hey, you know. Same, he's got plasticity though, so that kind of, you know, rather than having to go to someone, he can keep someone wrapped up and, you know, beat on him for a while. Next up, we've got Iron Fist. Now, funny thing, these first three figures are all from an old, an organized play kit that came out back in 2019. Marvel Knights, or maybe it was I don't know, but basically, the concept was Marvel Knights. I initially had Misty and Luke. I eventually managed to get my hands on extras of them as well as Iron Fist. So yeah. Anyway, looking at Iron Fist comes in at 60 points, has the Spider-Man ally team ability as well as the Defenders, Heroes for Hire, Marvel Knights, and Martial Arts keywords. It kind of bums me out that WizKids likes to just not give Iron Fist Avengers. He's been an Avenger, but you know, whatever. There are Avengers. There are versions of him with the Avengers keyword, so there is at least that. Looking at his dial, we open up with a couple clicks of charge, and the rest is sidestep on speed. On attack, we have a few clicks of precision strike, followed by a couple clicks of quake. On defense, we open up with special power, Are You Ever Going to Try Dodging, Luke? Which grants super senses and willpower. When an opposing character within line of fire makes a close attack, adjacent friendly characters can use super senses. Okay. This thing gives way to combat reflexes. Then on damage, we have a few clicks of exploit weakness, followed by a couple clicks of empower. Alright. Okay. Next up, we've got Black Cat. Also from the Deadpool set, so we won't be able to actually look at her dial or her power placement, just what powers she has. Black Cat comes in at 65 points and has the Defenders team ability, as well as the Defenders, Heroes for Hire, Marvel Divas, and Spider-Man family keywords. She also has an improved movement in ignores elevated terrain. On speed, we got some stealth and some flurry. We got some on attack, Blades, Claws, Fangs. I think just for a few clicks or so, not the whole dial. On defense, we open up with combat reflex. All we got is combat reflexes. And on damage, we open up with probability control, which then gives way to some outwit. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got, making his debut appearance on any team I've ever run, we've got Solo. Solo is a mercenary who was a recurring character, especially in 90s Spider-Man comics. He's supposed to be, his whole shtick was, he's a one-man war on terror. So, kind of like the Punisher, but focusing on, you know, terrorists. Yeah. Anyway, so Solo comes in at 75 points. He's got the Heroes for Hire, 6-pack, and Soldier keywords. We also have a trait, Mercs for Money. Each time another friendly character with the Heroes for Hire keyword KOs an opposing character, heals Solo 1 click. Okay, alright. Looking at his dial, we've got a couple clicks of the special speed power, Teleporting Terror. Gives Solo a free action and place him in any square within 4 squares in which he would have an opposing character within his range and line of fire. Now, as this is a free action and does not necessitate making an attack and somebody says he has to be able, he has to have someone within range and line of fire, this could be done while he has 2 tokens. He can't make an attack then, but it could potentially get him out of harm's way if need be. Looking at his next up, we got a couple of running shots and a couple of phasing teleport. On attack, all we have is some mid-dial precision strike. On defense, we have a couple clicks of invulnerability, a couple clicks of toughness, and a couple late dial clicks of willpower. On damage, all we have is a couple late dial clicks of range combat expert. It's not great. I think it was just kind of like, why not? Never run him before. Who knows? Maybe he'll turn out to be. Maybe he'll turn out to be gold. We don't know. Probably not. But hey, you never know. Next up, we've got the Falcon. This is the Prime Falcon from Avengers, Black Panther, and the Illuminati. Comes in at 75 points. It has the Avengers team ability, as well as the Avengers, Defenders, Heroes for Hire, Shield, and Soldier keywords. We also have improved movement in Norse characters and 2 traits. First off is my friend Redwing. At the beginning of the game, generate a Wing Bystander. Redwing has autonomous. Autonomous meaning that Redwing's actions will not count towards your own action total. His next trait is Captain America and the Falcon. Energy Shield Deflection. If a friendly character named Captain America is on the map, Falcon has autonomous. There will not be, so oh well. Anyway, looking at Falcon's dial, we open up with a few clicks of charge, followed by a few clicks of sidestep. On attack, we open up with we got 3 clicks of quake, and that's all. On defense, we have 3 clicks of super senses, followed by 3 clicks of combat reflexes. On damage, we open up with special power. I've learned from the best. Close combat expert as close. Now that has since changed because close combat expert is a passive power, so he basically says close combat expert for the entirety of his dial on damage. But now he gets the automatic. It's 1-in-1 automatically instead of, which sometimes it's not that. Sometimes you kind of want that extra 2 on damage or extra 2 for attack, but all honestly, I'm cool with just fine. Range combat, close combat expert, range combat expert. 1-in-1. That's fine. A quick look at the Wing Bystander. Kind of hard to show off with the foil, but he's got hypersonic speed, precision strike, and he's got super senses. Also, tiny size, so +1 defense against range. He also has 2 traits. First off is Vampiric Bird. Once per game, when Redwing would be KO'd, instead, it isn't. Protected, Pulse Wave. Okay. Then we got Always by Our Side. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6. On a 4 through 6, remove an action token from an adjacent friendly adjacent character named Falcon or Captain America. That will be incredibly useful. And finally, we have, as mentioned, Elektra. Like Black Cat from the Deadpool set, so sadly we can't actually look at her dial. I will only show up the first click. Yeah, that is a 12 attack. There's a reason I wanted to use her. So, Elektra comes in at 115 points, has the Heroes for Hire, Shield, the Hand, and Thunderbolts, as well as Assassin and Martial Artist keywords. She's a trait, Resurrection Ceremony, which really isn't going to play into this, as she's the only figure on the team with the Hand keyword. Once per game, when Elektra will be KO'd, you may give any number of other friendly characters with the Hand keyword an action token. If you do, place her in her starting area on click number 8, and then heal her of damage equal to the number of action tokens given. Okay. So if you've got a hand swarm team, you could potentially get her back up the top dial. Anyway, she opens up with a special speed power, the envy of all assassins. Elektra can use charge, flurry, and stealth. After that, on speed she gets sidestep. On attack, she does not start. She starts off with nothing, but she clicks into a special power, the Master of All. Elektra can use Blaze Claw's Fangs, Incapacitate, and Precision Strike. Defensively, she opens up with combat reflexes, which gives way to super senses. And on damage, she opens up with nothing, but she clicks into the special power, the deadliest of all assassins. Elektra can use close combat expert, exploit weakness, and ranged combat expert. Now, if that overlaps with her speed special power, that could be very deadly, especially with flurry, close combat expert, and exploit weakness. Oof, that's 2 penetrating attacks. And if she's got blades as well during all that, that's potentially 12 damage. 12 penetrating damage. Now, of course, there are plenty of ways to avoid penetrating damage. Super senses. Invincible. Having certain figures that also... which can reduce penetrating damage. So, yeah. But anyway, that is our Heroes for Hire team. Oh wait, no, not quite yet. So we have an additional 10 points. I was trying to fill things out so that this wouldn't happen, but we have an additional 10 points. So we're also throwing in the Blood Axe. The Blood Axe comes in at 10 points and grants it the equipped character Battle Fury, Exploit Weakness, and Steel Energy. The idea, in all honesty, is to put it on Falcon. That way, he's got... he'll be extremely mobile, with that full dot, plus being able to do penetrating damage on his close combat expert attacks, Steel Energy for healing purposes, and Battle Fury to ignore shape change. So, yeah. Like I said, I figure that's the best choice. Anyway, moving on, we've got ourselves next up we have ourselves a Thunderbolt team. So, in King in Black, Mayor Fisk put together a team of Thunderbolts to potentially stop Null. They didn't, but they aside from not stopping Null, they performed their mission admirably. That said, no one on this team is a part of that specific Thunderbolts lineup. But to a point, one thing that's been going on during Mayor Fisk's tenure as mayor is that a lot of the New York City supervillains have pretty much just been told things like, basically either they work for Fisk or they don't work. So, and solicits are kind of showing that the Thunderbolts are being augmented with additional recruits. So, much like in what Tony Stark did in Civil War, but for more nefarious purposes. So, anyways, kicking things off, we've got Norman Osborne. Norman here comes in at 40 points and has the Sinister Syndicate team ability. He also has the Deep Breath, Cabal, Codex, Dark Avengers, Hammer, Power Elite, Sinister Syndicate, Thunderbolts, Politician, and Ruler keywords. We have 2 traits. One of the Secret Identity trait, which will not be coming into play. I honestly did think about utilizing at least potentially utilizing the Green Goblin that he could turn into, but I decided against it. Just having to, the whole point of having to remember, oh yes, put it on this click, not that click. Yeah, I tend not to use them. The Secret Identity figures. There's nothing against them. Yeah. Anyway. Next up, we have I'm the One in Charge. Opposing characters within 4 squares can't use Mastermind. Okay. Alright. Looking at his dial, we get a couple clicks of stealth followed by a couple clicks of mind control on speed. Nothing on attack. On defense, we got a couple clicks of Mastermind, followed by a couple clicks of Super Senses. Damage-wise, we open up a special power, Leader of Hammer, which grants leadership and outwit, which then gives way to a couple clicks of Perplex. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got Fixer. Fixer here comes in at 50 points. He has the Aim, Hydra, Master of Evil, Shield, Thunderbolts, and Scientist keywords. He also has the Assemble Bolts and Mattress trait. Once per turn, when Fixer hits after resolutions, you may roll a d6. On a 5 or a 6, if your force has three or more friendly characters with the Master of Evil or Thunderbolts keywords, remove an action token from Fixer or give an action token to a hit target. If your force has 6 or more, do both. He is one of... There are only 2 figures on the team with that trait, him and Baron Zemo. But we've got 7 figures on the team, so if we hit a 5 or a 6, well, you know, we can do that. Anyway, looking at Fixer's dial, we've got a few clicks of Force Blast, followed by a couple clicks of Sidestep on speed. On attack, we have a couple clicks of Telekinesis. On defense, we open up with a few clicks of Inertial Deflection, followed by a couple clicks of Toughness. Then on damage, we open up with a special power, Resident Tech Genius, which grants Perplex. And then, as a unique modifier, when Fixer uses Perplex, he may instead choose a single combat value other than damage to modify all friendly characters within 4 squares in line of fire. Okay, alright. So you said keep him, within line of fire, everybody. After that, we get a couple of range combat expert. Okay. He's mostly here for the Perplex, and to a degree, he's also there for the Telekinesis. Next up, we've got Bullseye. Bullseye here comes in at 65 points. He has the Dark Avengers, Thunderbolts, Assassin, and Martial Artist keywords, as well as improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain, and characters. Looking at his dial, we've got a few clicks of Running Shot, followed by a couple clicks of Sidestep. On attack, we've got 3 clicks of Special Power, Ever. Or I Never Miss. Ever is the damage power. I Never Miss. Precision Strike, but can instead target more than one character. Okay. On defense, we've got a click of Inertial Deflection, followed by a couple clicks of Willpower, then back to Inertial Deflection. On damage, we open up with Special Power, Ever, which grants probability control, but only to target himself, which then gives way to a couple of range combat expert. I did briefly consider using the 110.1 from from Deadpool, but I kind of wanted to. I kind of wanted to have a bit of an army going on, so yeah. Anyway, next up we've got Baron Zemo. The Baron here comes in at 65 points. He has the Master of Evil team ability, as well as the Master of Evil, Thunderbolts, Martial Arts, and Scientist keywords. We also have 2 traits. First off is, we shall call ourselves the Thunderbolts. During game setup, when establishing theme teams, you may treat Master of Evil and Thunderbolts as a single named keyword. Okay. We also, and next is the Assemble Bolts and Master, same as Fixer. Looking at the Baron's dial, we open up a special speed power, Wait for the Perfect Time to Strike, which grants Charge, Running Shot, and Stealth. This thing gives way to regular Charge. Then on attack, we open up with a few clicks of Precision Strike, followed by a few clicks of Blades, Claws, Fangs. Defense, we open up with Mastermind, followed by Combat Reflexes. Damage, we open up with a few clicks of the special power, We will take the place of the Avengers in their hearts, which grants leadership and outwit. When Baron Zemo uses leadership and succeeds, you may choose a Marvel team ability that isn't uncopyable. As long as he's on the map, friendly characters with the Master of Evil or Thunderbolt's keyword can use the chosen team ability until he chooses again. Now, to be clear, how this works is, if I roll, say on turn 1 I said, why not, I'll roll leadership. I roll 5, well, okay. I then pick Sinister Syndicate. So everyone with Thunderbolts team ability or keyword who doesn't have Sinister Syndicate gains that team ability. Now let's say on turn 2, I also roll a 5. I don't have to change it. Or I can just simply say, yeah, I'm just going to keep shooting Sinister Syndicate. And it also does not, if he fails a leadership roll after he picked, it's still there. So yeah. And then finally, we have 2 clicks at the back end of Exploit Weakness. Moving on to our next figure, we've got Shocker. Shocker comes in at 75 points. He's got the Sinister Syndicate and Masters of Evil team abilities, as well as the Masters of Evil, Sinister Syndicate, and Thunderbolt's keywords. We also have a trait, superior to the other guys. Once per turn for all characters with this trait, if a character uses a Sinister Syndicate team ability to replace their attack value with Shockers, that character generates knockback during that attack. Okay, alright. Looking at his dial, we've got a few clicks of Running Shot, followed by a couple clicks of Force Blast. On attack, we open up the special power Vibro Gauntlets, which grants Penetrating Psychic Blast and allows Shocker to generate knockback when using it. Shocker will be given a ranged combat action to make a ranged attack using improved movement, ignores and destroys blocking terrain. When he makes a ranged attack, hit characters modify their attack values by -1 until your next turn. Okay, alright. This thing gives way to a few clicks of regular Penetrating Psychic Blast. Then on defense, we open up with a few clicks of Toughness, followed by a couple clicks of Willpower, and that is it. Next up, we've got Nuke. Nuke here comes in at 85 points. He has the Aim, Hydra, Thunderbolt, Assassin, and Soldier keywords. Oh, he also has a Symbol Bolts and Masters. Okay. But we got 2 traits, Symbol Bolts and Masters, and Dog Eat Dog and Eye for an Eye. As a free action, choose Nuke or an adjacent friendly character. Modify the chosen character's attack and damage by +1 this turn. At the end of your turn, deal the chosen character 1 unavoidable damage. Okay, alright. That could be useful, or it could not be. But you have to be careful with it because of the unavoidable damage. Now, looking at his dial, we open up with a couple of Running Shot. Then on speed, we get the special power Murderous Patriotism, which grants charge, flurry, and plasticity. When Nuke or an adjacent friendly character KOs an opposing character, after resolutions, heal Nuke 1 click. Okay, so that makes the trait a little easier, but you have to KO an opposing character to really benefit. On attack, we open up with some Energy Explosion, then we get some Super Strength, then some Blades, Claws, Fangs. On defense, we open up with Vulnerability, which then gives way to Toughness, which then gives way to Combat Reflexes. Finally, on damage, we open up with, we've got nothing to start off with, and the rest of the remaining 4 clicks are all Battle Fury. Okay, alright. That'll work. That'll help against anyone with shape change. Finally, character-wise, we've got Captain Marvel. This is, of course, Dr. Carl Sofan, aka Moonstone, aka Meteorite, of the Masters of Evil and Thunderbolts, masquerading as Captain Marvel as a member of the Dark Avenger, the original Dark Avengers lineup. But she comes in at 100 points and has the Masters of Evil team ability, as well as the Dark Avengers, Masters of Evil, Thunderbolts, Celebrity, and Scientist keywords. We also have a trait, Justice, like lightning. When Captain Marvel damages 1 or more opposing characters with an attack, after resolutions, roll a d6. On a 5 or a 6, remove an action token from a friendly character with Thunderbolt's keyword within 4 squares. Note it does not specify another friendly character with the Thunderbolt's keyword, so she could remove it from herself, if you were so inclined, which, well, I can't imagine not being that so inclined, but yeah, anyway. Looking at her dial, we open up with a couple of clicks of Running Shot, which then gives way to a special speed power Intangible Form, which grants phasing, teleport, and sidestep. When Captain Marvel makes a close attack, walls don't prevent adjacency to her target. Okay. On attack, we open up with a couple of clicks of Penetrating Psychic Blast, and the rest of the dial is Steel Energy. On defense, we open up with Vulnerability, which then gives way to the special power Bonded to the Stone, which grants Super Senses and Willpower. On damage, we get a couple of clicks of Perplexed, and a couple of clicks of Outwit, and a couple of clicks of Shape Change. Okay, alright. And we also got some equipment here. First off, we've got Dragon Fang. And you could say that Mayor Fisk likely has a few sources for some exotic weaponry. Dragon Fang grants Blaze Claw's fangs to the equipped character, and when the character uses it once per turn, you may re-roll the result. Next up, we've got Yarnborn. Yarnborn grants the equipped character, basically says the equipped character's attack rolls of 9 through 11 that hit count as critical hits. So they still have to hit, but if they do, they're considered crits. And both of them come in at 10 points. Finally, for the story I'm imagining, the way this story goes in my head, which will not be in the comics, Spider-Man has brought in some out-of-town backup, the Batman family. So starting off with the Batman family, we've got Batgirl, the Stephanie Brown version. So Batgirl comes in at 50 points. She has the Batman team ability as well as the Batman family, Birds of Prey, Gotham City, and Detective keywords. As she is an older figure, we can't look at her dial. She opens up with Charge, which gives way to Sidestep, which then gives way to the special speed power. I could do it on my own. The first time this click is revealed each game, stop turning the dial, and if Batgirl is the only character on your force, immediately turn her to click number 1. This power can't be ignored. Okay. Now, of course, like I said, it's only the first time, not so. If you do turn back to click number 1, well, the next time it pops up, that's that. On attack, we open up with Quake, which gives way to Smoke Cloud. Defense, we have Toughness, followed by Combat Reflexes. And then on damage, we have some Probability Control. Okay. Next up, we've got the man himself. The Batman himself, to be exact. This is actually this Batman's first appearance on building the team. But Batman here comes in at 65 points. He has the Batman family and Justice League of America team abilities, as well as the Batman family, Justice League International, and Martial Arts keywords. Looking at his dial, we've got some sidestep followed by plasticity. On attack, we have a special power called One Punch. As a power action, make a close attack. If the attack hits after resolutions, give the hit character 2 action tokens until your next turn. Give the hit character 2 action tokens and until your next turn. That hit character can't be given free actions. Okay, alright. This is in reference to a famous moment early on in Justice League International where Guy Gardner had been taunting Batman and offered to give Batman a free shot and said that he'll even give Batman a chance. He'll take off his ring. One punch. And Guy hit the floor. Anyway, after that, we get a couple clicks of Pulse Wave. Okay. Then on defense, we open up with Mastermind, which gives way to Toughness. On damage, we open up with Special Power. We do it My Way or No Way, which grants leadership. When Batman uses it and succeeds, this turn, whenever a friendly character with a Justice League or Justice League International keyword hits all targets with an attack, after resolutions, you may roll a d6. On a 3 through a 6, remove an action token from that character. Now, that's not going to come into play too much because, well, nobody else on the team has Justice League or JLI. I mean, I could give... Well, no, actually, I think... true. Yeah, actually, Batman Beyond does. So, okay, that could work. Okay, so yeah, it could come in handy on occasion. Alright, so after the special power, we have some Perplex as well. Okay, alright, not too shabby. Next up, we've got Spider-Man, who is a constant on this. The 75-point Fast Forces one. Has the Spider-Man Ally team ability, as well as the Spider-Man family reporter and scientist keywords, improved movement and elevated terrain, trait, Marvel team up. When established teams, choose a named keyword a character on your starting force has. Spider-Man gains that keyword. Obviously, I'm choosing Batman family. Couple of clicks of charge, couple of clicks of running shot, couple of clicks of flurry. 1 click of Quake, 2 mid-dial clicks of Incapacitate, 2 combat reflexes, 2 super senses, 1 combat reflexes, 1 super senses. Damage, quips and thwips, leadership succeeds on a 4 through 6, then a couple clicks of Perplex. I thought it'd be fun to bring in a basketball team, and honestly, that's something I've kind of been thinking about doing ever since this Spider-Man was revealed, was having putting him on a Batman family team or any team from another comic universe. Next up, we've got Batgirl. This is the Barbara Gordon one from the New 52. Like the other Batgirl that we've looked at, she's also as she's an older figure. Her dial is not printed on her card, so we can't look at the dial. But Batgirl comes in 85 points, has the Batman Ally team ability as well as the Batman Family Birds of Prey and Gotham City keywords. Plus of a trait, flying high again, which grants her leap climb. Which is actually a lot more useful than it was when this character was initially made, as leap climb is now a passive power. So, look, the power she's got, we've got some running shots to start off with, which gives way to charge. On attack, we have a special power. I still have a few tricks in my belt. Batgirl can use Incapacitate and Smoke Cloud. When she uses Incapacitate and places a second action token on a hit character, resulting pushing damage can't be ignored. Okay, not as useful, as pushing damage is no longer a thing. So, yeah. Defensively speaking, we open up with Willpower, which then gives way to combat reflexes. On damage, we open with Perplex, which then gives way to Close Combat Expert. So she's not... The thing of it is, I've never used her before, and point-wise, she worked out perfectly. So, yeah. Eventually, after I couldn't find a figure I intended to use. Yeah. Moving on, we've got Nightwing. It's been a minute since we've seen this bad boy. Nightwing here comes at 100 points. He has the Batman Ally team ability, as well as the Batman Family, Batman Incorporated, Bloodhaven, Detective, Martial Arts, and Police keywords. Improved movement ignores elevated terrain, and a trait, the enemy of my enemy. Once per game, give Nightwing a free action to place a Tony Zuko Bystander token in an adjacent square, which is included with the figure. So, there's Tony. He's got toughness and a special power, which grants him Perplex and Support. That's actually pretty useful. You know, he can perplex up his attack and then heal someone who's been hurt. Or early on, he'd be used primarily for perplexing. But yeah. On speed, Nightwing opens up with a special power, Flying Grayson, which allows him to use Charge and Flurry. Nightwing can target opposing characters with close combat attacks regardless of elevation. Okay, alright. I'd actually love to see what would happen if you gave him the octopus arms, or somehow gave him giant reach, because that could be fun. That thing is with a regular charge. On attack, we open up with Incapacitate, which gives it a Smoke Cloud. Defense, we open up with a special power, Second City Saint. Nightwing can use combat reflexes and defend. When Nightwing is a target of a ranged combat attack, he can use super senses. Okay. And he opens with a 17, which, okay, not too shabby, but... So, with combat reflexes, that's a 19. And he could pass along that 17 to somebody, I'm sure. Or maybe not. I don't think anybody starts off lower than 17. But, you know, if he's still on his top dial later in the game, you know, he could pass it to somebody, right? Right. This thing gives way to regular combat reflexes, then regeneration. Defense, damage, we open with nothing, but he clicks into Outwit, which is followed up by Close Combat Expert. And finally, our last figure for now, for the video, Batman Beyond. I think we've looked at him once before. I know we looked at him around the time that the JLU set came out. I traded for him. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we did at least. But I can't remember if I ever put him on a team that I planned to use for this. So. I thought about it, but never, I don't think I ever have. So Batman Beyond comes in at 125 points. Has the Batman family, Gotham City, Justice League, Project Cabinet, Armor, Detective, Future, and Martial Arts keywords, as well as improved targeting ignores hindering terrain. But yeah, he has a Justice League keyword. Batman's leadership will work with him on him. We got 2 traits. First up is Boom Tube Travel. Once per game, phasing teleport. When Batman Beyond uses it, his speed value is 12, and after resolutions, remove an action token from him. Okay? Alright. So if you push him to do that, well, you can pull a token from him. Then Multi-Spectrum Camouflage is the other trait. Opposing characters can't draw a line of fire to Batman Beyond if he is adjacent to blocking terrain. Okay. So we have to make sure our map has our map of choice has blocking terrain. Looking at his dial, we open up with some running shot, followed by a click of charge, a couple clicks of sidestep, a couple clicks of flurry. On attack, we open up with special power. Some looks never go out of style. Precision strike. As a free action, choose one until your next to use until your next turn. Blaze Claw's Fangs, energy explosion, incapacitate, poison, or smoke cloud. Okay, all right. That thing is ready to some mid precision strike, and then back to the special power. Defense, we open up with invulnerability, which gives it a toughness, which gives it combat reflexes. Damage, we open up with special power. The Tomorrow Night, a different kind of bat, which grants leadership. As a free action, choose one to use until your next turn. Close Combat Expert, Perplex, Outwit, and Shape Change. Or Shape Change, I should say. Okay, alright. Sucks that range combat expert isn't there, but you know, draw and click 3, range close combat expert would be good to have. That thing is what is a mid close combat expert, then back to the special power. But that's going to be it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.